skiing was a huge part of my experience at Harvard. It's actually one of the reasons I'm back. I think it was a really formative part of my time here. I learned a lot about leadership, about teamwork, about persistence. We're not in the most natural place for a ski team to exist, and so I think in learning how to make that work, I learned a lot of things that were, I think, really valuable, and I've carried on to the other things I've done in my life since. One of the best parts of my job is that I get to be a teacher, and this is just a phenomenal place to have that opportunity. It's a joy to get to work with the students I get to work with every day. I think it's one of the most extraordinary things about this place. I love watching them develop over the 4 years that they're here. I love being a part of that. I love that skiing is part of that, and as they figure out who they are and as they develop into who they are, I like the lessons that we can bring to that through skiing. So one of the things I think is really cool about skiing as a sport is that we train men and women side by side. We train together, we travel together, we race together. We have different bibs and different courses on race day, but other than that, if you come in as a men's team member or a women's team member, you're going to have a very similar team experience, which I think is great. We're training people to be on the kind of teams that they're going to be on for the rest of their lives, and so I think as we're working on skills about teamwork and leadership, we're talking about that as something that we're doing not within single gender teams, but within a whole group team. And I think that's a really special part of our program. So there have been lots of amazing experiences along the way. We've had phenomenal days of training, phenomenal race days when athletes exceeded what our best expectations were. On the flip side, we've had days when everything we thought was going to go right didn't. To me, the thing that's been the through line for all of this is, and that's been kept me going in a way that I'm a little surprised. I was surprised by it when I sort of reflected on it a couple of years in, was how much I learn every day. And even a dozen years into this, there are new things I learn every practice, every day. We're thinking about new ways of doing things, but also things that worked a few years ago might need to be adapted. And that learning and that constant challenge, I talked a few minutes ago about feeling like I'm a teacher. I also feel like I'm very much like I'm a student. And that's been really gratifying to feel like I keep getting stretched.